Hello and welcome to RSAC conference. I am Jen English and I'm here at Broadcast Alley, my first time at RSAC, and I have been enjoying a lot here. I'm with Informa Tech Target and Ion Tech, and I'm very, very excited because I am now going to be talking to Maxine Holt, and she is the Vice President of Enterprise and Channel Research at Omdia. And how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Jen. How are you?
I'm doing well,
Good.
yes.
Good.
So obviously there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things to talk about. And before we get into that, I'd love to get a little bit into your history, your background of cybersecurity. How did you land there? And what's your background?
Okay, no worries. So my background is I've always worked in tech. Been working slightly longer than you have. So I was a programmer back in the day, many, many years ago, then became developers, then became software engineers. So I've done, kind of the hard stuff, coding in my past, and then eventually went through to do analysis, but not the research analysis, systems analysis, understanding how tech fits together. And then I somehow ended up applying for a role working in research and analysis. I wonder what this is really. And applied for the job, got the job, and I've been doing it for 25 years now, so I absolutely love it. So I started off looking at ASP, which was application service provision back in the day. Again, that was a long time ago. I touched on security a little bit, but with my general tech background, that's what I really focused on. And then I got a little bit bored, so I left and I went to work for a security company and absolutely fell in love with security. It is just the best thing. So stayed there for 2 or 3 years, really enjoyed it, but then wanted to get back into more of the commercial research side of things. So I ended up back with what is now Omdia, and ran and built the cybersecurity team at Omdia, and now I'm running the enterprise and channel team at Omdia.
Great. You said cybersecurity, you absolutely love it. Softball question here, but what's one of your favorite parts about cybersecurity?
Well, I think it's that you never stop learning. I just love that aspect of it, because in traditional tech, kind of, the tech that, companies sell and companies buy, it's all about kind of moving the business forward, which is great. With security, it's about the tech you buy, the tech you sell, and the bad people that are always there, not necessarily on the periphery, but very close often. And so it makes that kind of approach much faster. And so you've always got the opportunity to learn about new things, new attack vectors, new technology to try and combat that. But the fact that also security isn't just about technology. If only it were, then we'd all be very secure. But it's about the people, the process as well. So learning about all of those aspects in security is just brilliant from my perspective.
And there are so many aspects of it.
Yeah.
So for enterprises, what is the biggest security challenge right now that they're facing in this wide world of constantly evolving cybersecurity threats and vulnerabilities?
Sure, yeah. So I would say probably the biggest challenge right now is adopting technology. So as I said before, you've got your buy side and your sell side in regular tech. What's the hot topic today? Artificial intelligence. We've been talking about it for many years. AI has been in tech for a long time. But I think since kind of November 23 is probably about when I would pinpoint it, with the launch of ChatGPT and generative AI, then all of a sudden it's really hit the newsstands almost, if you will. And everybody wants to get on the bandwagon. My children use ChatGPT, and it's really useful for all sorts of things. And so organizations using it, employees are using it. It's becoming something that everybody does, but it's not always secure. In fact, I would probably argue it's rarely secure, particularly when you're using the public LLM models, the likes of ChatGPT without paying for it. Then, if something's free, you're the product. So whatever you feed into it is feeding that LLM, that large language model, and that becomes it's a real problem, I think, for organizations to try and get on top of that and understand all of those aspects. What do they need to do to secure the AI that they're using in their organizations? And I think I'd take it a little bit of a step further as well, because adopting generative AI was certainly highly transactional before. Oh yeah, we could use it for that. Oh, we could use it for that. Now I think it's becoming more strategic. So organizations are trying to deploy it to transform their businesses, to grow their businesses. But that is, it's that with that comes the security risk, and you've got to be aware of that risk. And so bigger organizations are now like, crikey, I've really got to sort that out. So that's, I would say, their biggest challenge right now, because they can't not use it, otherwise they're getting left behind.
I think with that comes this issue of, okay, you have SMBs, you have more fully funded, larger enterprises, so there's this cybersecurity divide here, whether it's for AI or for something else that they're trying to deploy. So can you speak a little bit about that and what research you've seen with that or done into that?
Yeah, sure. So the cybersecurity divide, it's been around for decades, I would say. So large organizations, and this isn't kind of, every large organization has got bottomless pockets to buy security technology and security people to keep them secure. But they certainly have bigger budgets. They've got bigger needs, but they've got bigger budgets, and they can afford the people, they can afford, to be clear, afford the technology to be able to make themselves more secure and more resilient. And that's building more of a divide, because smaller organizations don't have that, don't have those budgets, don't have the people, and really don't have the need for it. Now they do have the need, but they don't see the need for it straight away. So I think that's kind of pushing the divide quite a lot. That you've got the lack of people in the workforce, the cost of those people, the cost of the technology, and how much technology there is as well. So I think it can be very overwhelming if you're not a security person or a security team to look at, I haven't been on the show floor yet, but I can tell you there's going to be a lot of vendors on there. How do you choose between vendor A, vendor B, vendor C? It's really difficult to work that out. So there's more and more of a divide, and unfortunately I don't see that slowing down anytime soon.
That was going to be my question is, okay, with all of these options that are available, and whether it's hype or it's actually rooted in like, hey, this could actually help you as a security team, what do enterprise security teams need to prioritize? Is it based on business like use case for, hey, we need this technology, or how do they go about prioritizing that?
The larger organizations?
Yes, the larger ones.
Okay. Yeah, so I think a lot of larger organizations are very well set up when it comes to their security. They've got fantastic teams, that are looking at information security in general, and then also you've got your SOC as well. So they're pretty well set up, but they do have more demands on them from new projects that are going on, whether it's AI transformation projects or anything else that might be happening. And they have to prioritize their time. What's the most important project from the business's perspective? And then they have to be able to support those projects. If I'm being honest as well, in a lot of security functions, most of them would love to have that challenge, because quite often they're still finding out about projects. Oh, this is going live on Thursday, can you help us? And it's Tuesday. And you're like, no, I can't. So I think that they're working on that kind of education within the business, if you will. And I think that is getting better. There is more and more awareness of security issues in organizations. And if we can get that into the business leads, the product leads in organizations as they're growing and developing their products, then that's better, because we're, I would say, probably shifting left, if you will, with bringing security into the regular business cycles.
I think along with that comes the conversation. It's kind of an age-old issue at this point, but the skills gap, right? And is that very much evident along with that divide?
Yes, the skills gap has been around for as long as I've been in security, and a lot longer before that as well. We know that there are always more vacancies for people with security expertise than there are people to fill those gaps. But I would say there's a number of issues with that. So it's not that everybody is on the floor. You look at everybody here, not everybody's got the same set of skills and expertise. So you might have a vacancy for, let's hot topic again, securing AI, but that person might be good at data governance or something like that. So it's not necessarily that the people who are looking for the roles are the people that can actually fill the vacancies there as well. So I think, again, that comes back to my previous point when you asked me about what I like about security. It's about the ability to continuously learn. So as anybody who's working in security, you're always looking to, whether it's continuing your professional certification credits or whether it's just finding out about that latest breach or that latest vulnerability. I think that, that is a really important part of building the skills gap. But I think as well, we've also got to make security exciting for younger people, for people coming into the market, into the world of jobs, because it is really interesting. I don't get why somebody wouldn't be interested in it, but but I really do think that we need more education at school level, at kind of primary school, senior school level, to help people understand more about security. I was in the hairdressers a while ago, and I was sat next to somebody, and this lady was talking to the hairdresser saying, "Oh, my daughter wants to do this thing called security, but she asked at school," and they went, "I'm not really sure." I helped, but that's really indicative of the fact that we need to get more security education into schools to make it an exciting place for lots of other people to come. That won't solve the skills gap, it won't solve the workforce shortage, but the more people we get in, the better it's going to be.
Do you think that the evolution of AI and then the risks that could come with that, but also the fun of the challenge of overcoming those risks, do you think that could help? And what does that evolution of AI look like for these enterprises and for the young security teams?
Yeah. So AI is just fascinating. I love messing around with it myself, securely, of course. There's AI on its own. So we could think about AI in the context of security. So not securing AI, but AI in the context of security. That's been around in security for many, many years, and often referred to as automation, but it's built and does amazing things. Some of the tech that we'll see on the show floor when it opens will just blow our minds, and that will be bringing AI into the conversation there. But I think as well, from the security of AI, AI is such a hot topic. It's got to bring those people who are interested in AI into working out how you can use it securely, because if you don't, we're all going to be in big trouble, I think. So we have to make sure that we're doing it properly, because otherwise you end up with your hallucinations and your bias and everything else that can go wrong with AI, and then it's not serving the business properly.
So I will be asking you, what are the things that you're looking forward to? But first, I want to dig a little bit deeper into that AI, right? So really quickly, off the top of your head, what's the number one thing that cybersecurity teams should do to make sure they're getting AI right and secure?
Talk to the business. Talk to the business. That is absolutely it. So, I've heard security teams tearing their hair out almost, saying, "Why is this in there? And I've just found this," and all that kind of stuff, because the business is using it without the knowledge of what they're doing. And it's, they're trying to do good things. They're trying to make their work lives better. They're trying to grow the business. They're trying to do all these sorts of things. But the actual security and risk implications of that could be potentially huge. And so the security function needs to be able to talk to the rest of the business to say, okay, AI, brilliant, come and talk to us and we'll help you do it in a safe and secure way that's going to support the business in the longer term as well.
Great. So what are you most looking forward to in the conference, and what are you hoping to get out of it?
So in terms of what am I looking forward to, I am excited about going on the show floor. I always wear a little bit of shoe leather out, walking around all of the stands. But I find it really interesting to, kind of look and see even what is staring us in the face on the stands. What are the big messages that, that the vendors, big and small, are putting up there, but listening to the buzz as well. Like sovereignty was not something I was thinking about that much before I came, but sovereignty is something that we're definitely going to be looking into in more depth after the conference. So, and it's that sort of thing that I'm hoping to get out of the whole week, really, to listen to what the buzz is, what people are talking about. Oh, I hadn't thought about that aspect, and so we can do more research on those areas as well. So yeah, it's an exciting place to be this week.
Yes. So I think when you think of what is keeping like a CISO up at night, what would you say is the main thing right now of like what are the cybersecurity teams most afraid of or worried about, or the biggest challenges that are kind of facing these enterprises?
Well, I think one of the, Frankie, I would probably say that it's a lot to do with the constant threats that are out there. So it used to be that, cyber attacks would happen once every now and again. It's just constant now, absolutely constant. So I think the biggest fear for a lot of security functions is often something as basic as patching. Has patching been done? It sounds really boring, but it is a really important aspect, because 0 days, when 0 days happen, that's bad and it causes a lot of problems, but they're actually, dare I say it, nothing like as frequent as, crikey, I've missed patching that machine and that's cost me all of these additional problems. So I'd say that type of thing, the regular stuff, because you've got a workforce shortage, you've got too many products in your portfolio, all of those kind of things, that's probably what's keeping the CISOs up at night in the main.
And then my final question for you, and then I'll let you say anything else that you might have, but what are you most excited about with the security industry right now, outside of AI or including AI, but what do you think is kind of the most promising innovation right now?
Do you know what? I'm not going to talk about an innovation there, I don't think. I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about security being more of a partner to the business. That's what I think is security's greatest opportunity right now, which is being able to, as I've said already, talk to the business about AI, talk to the business about everything, because CISOs and their teams are there to support the business. We have HR business partners. We should have security business partners as well. I know some organizations do, but it is about helping drive the business forward. The security team is there as a function to enable resilience, to enable the organization to do business, and you need an outgoing security team to be able, or people in the security team who are outgoing, to be able to go and have those conversations. So I think for me, that's what's exciting. Security isn't an ivory tower. It's not a centre of excellence. It's a support to the business to enable the business to grow.
Thank you. Anything else you'd like to add, or that you think we didn't, talk about enough, or you really want to dig into?
No, I don't think there's much else. I mean, that sovereignty piece has really kind of got my mind whirring, and I'm looking forward to doing more on that. Shift left, which was a conversation that I'm sure I was having a decade ago in security, has come back to the fore. So we'll definitely be talking about that more. There is one other piece, actually, that I should mention, which is compliance.
Yes.
Very boring again to a lot of people, but it's really driving a lot of security conversations today.
Yep.
So I think we're going to see a lot more trickle-down regulations, so affecting the small to medium-sized enterprises a lot more than perhaps it has done before.
Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. This was so enjoyable, and thank you for watching here at Broadcast Alley. And again, I'm Jen English, and with my colleague Jameson Cush off-site with Informatech Target and Ion Tech. And Maxine, thank you so much. It was great to see you and have you here.
Thank you for having me, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as always, remember to like and comment for Ion Tech.